Imagine this. You're sitting around a campfire. The flames crackle. The stars shimmer overhead. Someone hands you a stick. On the end of it, a marshmallow. You toast it until it turns golden brown. Maybe a little too golden. You sandwich it between 2 graham crackers. Add a square of chocolate. You press it together. The chocolate melts, the marshmallow stretches. Sticky fingers, big smiles. Now, imagine this. That gooey, delicious treat was first written down nearly 100 years ago in a Girl Scout guidebook. Believe it or not, the first official s'mores recipe appeared in 1927, and it had a different name. Welcome to Believe It or Not, the show where weird is real and the truth is stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Bryan, and today's story is about how a simple campfire snack became one of the most iconic desserts in American history, and how a group of Girl Scouts helped make it famous. Let's travel back to 1927. The world looked very different. There were no smartphones, no video games, no streaming services. But there were campfires. And around those campfires were thousands of girls wearing uniforms with badges on their sleeves. The organization was the Girl Scouts of the USA, founded in 1912 by Juliette Gordon Low. The Girl Scouts encouraged girls to learn outdoor skills, leadership, and independence. By the 1920s, camping had become a huge part of the experience. Girls learned how to pitch tents, tie knots, and cook over open flames. And in 1927, the Girl Scouts published a handbook called Tramping and Trailing with the Girl Scouts. Inside it was a recipe. Not for cake, not for pie, but for something called some s'mores. That was the original name, because after you ate one, you wanted some more. Now you see, the original recipe was simple. Toasted marshmallow, a piece of chocolate, 2 graham crackers. Press together, eat warm. But here's what made it genius. Each ingredient was already popular on its own and widely available. Marshmallows took off thanks to new factory machines invented in the early 1900s. Chocolate bars were affordable treats, and graham crackers, originally invented in the 1800s, were easy to pack on camping trips. Put them together? Magic. Warm, melty, crunchy magic. And because it was easy to make over a fire, it spread fast. Girl Scouts around the country shared it. Then families did. Then camp counselors. Then backyard barbecues. And slowly, some s'mores became s'mores. Here's what's fascinating. The Girl Scout handbook didn't treat it like a big deal. It wasn't bolded. It wasn't labeled America's future favorite dessert. It was just one recipe among many. But sometimes the smallest ideas travel the farthest. Through the Great Depression, through World War II, through decades of camping trips and family reunions, the s'more survived. And really, it became more than a food. It became a tradition. Think about it. When you make a s'more, you're usually not alone. You're with friends or family or classmates. It's sticky, it's messy. You laugh when the marshmallow catches on fire. You try again. And that shared moment? That's the real secret ingredient. Nobody who wrote that 1927 guidebook knew they were starting something that would last for generations. They were just sharing a campfire treat. But nearly a century later, people all over the world still sit by fires and make the same simple recipe. Sometimes history isn't about inventions that change the world overnight. Sometimes it's about tiny sparks. A marshmallow, a square of chocolate, a memory. And somehow, that's enough. Now, here are a few believe it or not facts I found while researching the podcast. Believe it or not, the original recipe calls for 16 graham crackers, 8 bars of chocolate, and 16 marshmallows. Then it says, toast the marshmallows to a crispy, gooey state, and place a marshmallow on top of a chocolate bar and between 2 graham crackers. Its beauty is really in its simplicity. Believe it or not, Americans buy over 90 million pounds of marshmallows every year. In the summer, it's estimated that 80% of all marshmallows sold are used for s'mores. Believe it or not, there's actually an official s'mores day, August 10th, smack dab in the middle of summer camping season. Believe it or not, during World War II, because of sugar rationing, families had to get creative when making campfire treats. And marshmallows were often swapped for hazelnut spread, peanut butter, or even fresh fruit. And finally, believe it or not, the world's largest s'more weighed over 200 pounds. That's bigger than me. And that's a lot of sticky fingers. Now, here's a question for you guys to think about. Why do certain foods become traditions? Is it the taste? Or is it the memory attached to it? Because maybe the reason s'mores lasted nearly 100 years isn't just chocolate. It's connection. So let me know in the comments, what's a traditional food that you and your family or you and your friends enjoy when you get together? For me, it's an American classic, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Of course, it's made with crunchy peanut butter and thick strawberry jam. Now, before we go, here's a joke for you. How does a marshmallow like its chicken cooked? Roasted, of course. Now, if you're enjoying this joke and this episode of Believe It or Not, follow or subscribe wherever you listen. And share this episode with someone who loves history with a sweet twist. Because sometimes the most unforgettable stories start with something sweet. Next time on Believe It or Not, a man leaves Sweden on a bicycle. He rides thousands of miles across Europe and Asia, reaches Nepal, climbs Mount Everest, alone, without bottled oxygen, then gets back on his bike, and pedals all the way home. It's the unbelievable true story of Goran Krop, one of the most determined adventurers in history. You won't want to miss it. Until next time, keep wondering, keep learning, and remember, sometimes the truth is weirder than fiction.